Oi,
Oi,
I'm Clara.
I'm Iggy.
Are you distracted by the waters?
I was distracted by the water and the sailing boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to our podcast, Navigating Life. At the moment, we are on a Dutch lake
Yes.
nearby Alkmaar.
Yeah, Alkmaardermeer.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day to sit outside.
Certainly is.
And we thought, let's record a podcast with this beautiful view behind us.
Exactly.
And the theme for today, I thought,
Yes.
would be how much we have changed over the last 19 years together.
Yeah.
Since we met until now. Not only about career, because we both had different places where we worked, but also how much we have grown as individuals and as a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds good.
great.
Yeah.
Who's gonna start?
Well, I think that I'm gonna start.
Yeah?
About you.
Oh,
I think you changed, or we changed a lot, and we started off as, of course, young love and being together. You were 20.
I was 21.
21. I was 27
uh-huh.
by that time. So yeah, young couple, and we had, of course, our dreams and our goals, and those goals and dreams changed throughout the years.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, because back then when I met you, I had just moved to Netherlands,
Yeah.
and my thought was before I met you, I'm gonna work in Netherlands for a couple of years and then go back with this big bag of cash.
Yeah.
And start something in Portugal. I really wanted to have my own restaurant or a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
And then when I met you, of course, yeah, we fell in love.
Everything changed.
Everything changed. I decided to stay in Netherlands, despite the cold and the food, which is something that I always mention. But it is a lovely country, and people are always heartwarming.
Yeah.
Especially your family, they always felt like family as well. So I felt at home quite quickly, which I'm very thankful, and I feel blessed for that, to have met your family.
Yeah.
And feel that way.
Nice.
Yeah, but indeed we did change a lot. And the first 2 years that we were together, we were working different shifts.
Yeah.
At the hotel. We had a rental, a houseboat.
A little houseboat, our little houseboat.
Yeah.
Little rental thing.
Yeah, and back
15
then.
square meters.
Yeah, and back then I remember the first time that we went there at night, and you have told me about this houseboat. I was very skeptical about it. Remember?
Yeah, you certainly were. It was cold, dark,
December. Yeah.
So yeah, let's put it that way. Not the most favorable conditions for a Portuguese lady, so to say.
And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, what are my parents going to think about this? I'm now going to move into this houseboat with this Dutch guy, and I would not even knew what to explain to them that would be living in a houseboat, because in Portugal we don't have those.
Exist. Yeah.
So that's also what I was thinking of when we went there.
Yeah.
But when we went back to actually live in there and I saw the view, that's what changed my mind, because it was so quiet and beautiful countryside views. So that was the first moment that for me it changed as well. Like, okay, this is now part of my integration into Dutch culture, living on the waters.
Yeah, it couldn't be better, isn't it?
No, I agree. I never expected that to happen, and so for me that was like the first big change in mindset as well, because for me it was always this image that you move to a different country and then you rent an apartment or a house, and then you buy something and you just keep on going like that. But I never considered a houseboat, so yeah, that was already quite an adventure for me in the beginning. And 2 years into our relationship, you told me you wanted to change careers.
Yeah. I went from working in a hotel as a waiter. I used to be a cruise manager, but didn't find that appealing anymore. So after being hotel manager for 2.5 years, cruise manager, hotel manager for 2 seasons, I went to work ashore again, and that was for 2 years.
I think so.
Yeah, 2 years, and then after 2 years, I thought, well, I want to be actually sailing on boats.
Yeah.
But not on a cruise ship. So yeah,
No.
then I went into inland shipping, and I started working on barges as a deckhand.
Can I say that when you talked with me about that my first thought was, and I think I told you this, there's no way our relationship is gonna work.
Yeah.
I really thought that we'll have to break up at some point because we wouldn't be keeping up with our relationship as you were planning to do it, which was 5 days a week, weekends at home. I was always working on the weekends because in hospitality you
That's
often
pretty
work
much
the
it.
entire weekend. So back then I was really very skeptical.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical about the relationship itself, but yeah, when you love someone, of course you want to support their dreams, and your main goal back then was to sail, and I felt like, who am I to tell him, no, you can't do that because I won't be happy without you, because yeah, I was quite insecure and I didn't have a lot of friends in Netherlands, so I depended pretty much on your presence to feel like I belonged in this country. That's how it felt because I was so attached to our relationship.
Yeah.
And when he told me that you'd be away for 5 days a week and on the weekends you'd come back home, but I'll be working and not really spending time together, it was a hard. It wasn't really hard. It was just a challenge
Yeah.
to navigate that.
Yeah. Other people would say it was a hard or difficult time, but yeah, it was. We always see it as a challenge for that matter, and yeah, it was of course different and something to adapt to, because it's not like a common job. It's not
No.
like, oh, I'm gonna be, I don't know, something completely different, but still every night at home.
Yeah,
And that of course was the difficult part about it.
yeah. But we still called pretty much every day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And we kept in touch, and whenever you were at home we made sure that we'd enjoy our time together,
Yeah.
and that's what we have been doing for the last 17 years.
Yeah.
And that also changed a lot over the years, your career.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, first year and a half, I learned the ropes on that barge, which was transporting mostly aggregates, sand and gravel to the concrete industry. And the skipper, a very passionate man who told me everything I needed to know as a deckhand.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I studied as well to be a skipper.
How was that for you to start from zero at 28, 29?
Oh yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah.
Because I was used to be in charge and supervise and manage,
Control.
and now I was being told what to do. And in the beginning, yeah, you really should learn quick and listen, otherwise you get an immediate evaluation and development conversation.
Shipping style.
Shipping style, which is more or less scolding you. Somebody scolding you. So yeah,
Was that how it went most of the time?
often,
Yeah.
yes. But at some point, he knew what he had on board, and
He could trust you.
he could trust me and knew that I knew what I was doing. And the scolding is usually, especially in the shipping business, as we don't mean it insulting, we mean it personally, because we're concerned about the other person's safety. It's big stuff.
That's a
It's
big
big
one.
ropes, it's big ships, you lose fingers, legs,
Yeah.
arms, whatever. That can ruin somebody's career or life.
Life. Yeah.
So then of course, when something happens, we're slightly more vocal than the usual person who says you did something wrong.
Yeah, and you have to do it on the spot as well.
You have to do it on the spot because afterwards it's too late. It's 24-hour business. You keep on going.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was first 2 years first, and then the
Eventually, he trusted you to sail as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He trusted me to sail and he trusted me to load. He broke his foot at some point, so he trusted me also to drive the bobcat, which is a small bulldozer to clean the hold. So yeah, it was a good man. Lived too short, unfortunately. But yeah, I learned a lot from him, and then I changed to the tanker, where I also learned a lot. And after that, I got to be steersman on a row vessel, and then you see what you learned in the past.
Yeah.
Then you can actually implement things. And I saw that with you as well. In the hotel, but also later on when you started with your brother in the restaurant out there. There you learned how to implement skills you acquired throughout the years as a waiter, and then later you were a supervisor and a manager.
Yeah, because in the beginning you're always the one making the mistakes.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of them, and whenever you are in a position of leadership, may it be captain or manager, then when you are starting from zero, it's much easier for you to explain other people how to apply that knowledge.
Yeah.
And you also find new ways of communicating that to them, which maybe it worked for you, but you don't want to apply it the same way. So in a way you are filtering a lot of knowledge that you've learned with different people, experiences.
And don't you have it also that you see other people doing the mistake and then you think, oh, I need to do that next time myself, I need to do that different?
Because a mistake still happens.
Or a mistake happened or still happens, or you saw somebody else doing that mistake and you thought, oh, I won't be making that mistake too.
Yeah. But I think that's also about sharing your own experience and learning together.
Yeah.
When you're part of a job or a community, then when you are sharing those things together, then you're learning together and growing together.
Yeah.
That's what comes with every job, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, also on a personal level, I was highly involved in my job and studying and everything, and then that also gave us to develop our relationship.
We grew a lot in our relationship when you switched jobs, and your priority was back then studying and getting your papers done.
Yeah.
And then I was waiting for you to have some time to travel together, and at some point you just told me, don't wait for me, just go.
Yeah.
And that was really helpful for me because it forced me to grow, to travel alone. It was the first time that I did it on my own terms. I bought a second-hand car and I took a ferry from IJmuiden, Netherlands to Newcastle, and I drove all the way to Inverness on my own.
All the way to Bonnie, Scotland?
Yeah. And that was one of the coolest trips of my life because it was the first one where I had full control of where I wanted to go, especially with the car. I wasn't depending on anything. I could just decide where I wanted to be the next day. And that was the start of a big passion. And with that, with traveling came photography as well, which of course led me to learn about myself personally, to grow and be independent and just trust myself, my own ability to survive in a different country where you don't speak the language.
Well, you might not speak the language, but you chose to go to
I
Turkey,
chose to go anyway.
Egypt,
Yeah.
Iran,
Yeah.
Morocco.
Morocco, everyone speaks English there.
Yeah, French.
Yeah, but those experiences with traveling, that's also what helped me grow a lot personally, and also what helped in our relationship, I believe, was because I wasn't depending so much on you anymore, on your presence,
No.
to feel happy.
No,
I found
exactly.
my happiness in traveling and photography, and that was okay. It was quite often as well, 3-4 times a year that I was traveling. That was a good time to grow in my 20s.
Yeah, it was indeed.
And always with the thought back then that I'm going to travel as much as possible before I turn 30, because when I'm 30 I'm going to be ready to have children.
Yeah.
And back then we had just bought a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really big house. It was 3 times the size of our houseboat.
It was indeed. 100 and something square meters.
Yeah, which was also meant for the future. Like if we decided to have kids, then the house would be perfect. It was a quiet neighborhood in the countryside, not too far away from the airport either. It was a beautiful place. But yeah, then the 30s came, and then 31 and 32. And I was still like, no, I'm enjoying life too much to actually have children. So we had this conversation, and back then we also started traveling together. More often.
Yeah, I was done with my school. I had my papers by that time, my diplomas. Only needed to do sea time. So then the situation changed once again.
Yeah, we were enjoying more time together and doing the things that we both love to do when on your time off. And then we came to this conversation and conclusion that we didn't want to have kids. And then it's like, okay, now we have space to create something big with our lives because we have all this freedom, we thought. And we started thinking about what would be possible.
We had all the freedom, of course, and with kids you also have freedom, but without kids you make different decisions, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think about the choice of having children, what we also asked each other was, are we ready to educate a small human being, or are we still in the process of educating ourselves and growing and learning whatever we still need to learn from this life? And we found out that there's many other things that we want to do besides having children. We wanted to travel, and we wanted to live in different countries, and
still do. And start our own business. So then balancing all that into one life is rather challenging to start with, isn't it? Yeah.
And at that age it felt okay to let it go. And so that was also a change of mindset back then, that we thought this is always going to happen eventually, and it didn't. We were okay with the thought of not having children and just live a life that fulfilled us in different ways. And then we were happy, married, in a big house, and then the pandemic came.
And then I wasn't happy anymore in the big house.
No, then you were stuck at home, pretty much.
I was stuck at home, and we were thinking, we were thinking about our life choices, I suppose.
We were having long walks, long talks.
Where do we go from here? What do we do? Are we just keep grinding in the business we're in? Are we doing what we feel comfortable with, actually? It's of course also a bit of the comfort zone, which is keeping people, or keeping yourself as well. We realized that it was comfort that was keeping us in one place. It was a comfortable life. We had a house which was spacious enough for everything, even to have hobbies, and maybe even have a small bed and breakfast in that house. We could have.
we could have, but that wasn't enough because we really missed traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the adventure in life, for that matter.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I think that's what everyone felt during the pandemic, that they all missed traveling and
yeah,
exploring.
because we're so used to it.
Yeah.
Everybody's used to traveling.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
So shortly after the pandemic started, we came to the conclusion that we weren't happy with the life that we were leading, which was working a lot of the time, using our overtime and extra money to travel 3-4 times a year together, and that wasn't enough.
No, and we were like also every month the mortgage needed to be paid, so for any extras there wasn't too much. There wasn't too much time for that, so to say, and not too much money.
Yeah, indeed, and that's when the boat idea. Came.
We went to visit a couple of boats, 10 or something, I believe, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And then eventually we found this one.
Yeah.
And started 4 years of rebuilding.
Yeah. And then we also learned a lot together as well.
We certainly did, yes.
Because we're not very handy people. We never learned DIY.
No, I never enjoyed DIY.
I never learned it.
You never learned it, and I learned it with my father, but I never enjoy it.
And then we decided to buy a boat.
Yes.
That's
excellent. Good combi. You don't like something, and you buy a boat where you have to do pretty much everything yourself, otherwise you're emptying your wallet.
Yeah. So we learned a lot with that.
We certainly did.
A lot of patience. A lot of patience and a lot of ways of rebuilding a boat yourself without spending too much money, so we had to be creative. And we did that for 4 years.
Pretty much,
3-4 years of the last 5 that we have a boat, almost. And with the boat, what I learned the most with that was to work together.
Yeah.
Because even though we worked together at the hotel when we first met, this was completely different.
Yes, this was very different to what we of course did in hotel business. In hotel business, it's first of all, it's not your business. Second of all, it's not your money, so you have a different attitude towards it. You have a professional knowledge, so that's what you execute. But if you're trying to rebuild something which doesn't have a manual, or you don't have the knowledge, or you don't have the right material for it, then everything gets a bit of a, how do you say it? It's a bit of a hard learning curve you need to do.
Yes, very steep as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because you go from just owning a house where you can hire technicians to come and fix something.
Yeah.
And when it comes to a boat, you first need to learn the boat. That's how we approach this. We first decided, let's learn the boat, how everything works. And in the meantime, we just started renovating every cabin the way that we wanted to have it painted, get a new kitchen done, and always with the goal in mind of when this is done, it's going to feel like a vacation home on the waters. And that's exactly where we are right now, that we can sail with our home. Everything is already on it, and
it's almost completely done. A boat is never finished.
No, a boat is never finished, but it's now ready to live comfortably aboard. Also in the winter, and host our guests to visit us in Netherlands. So
when we're moored in a city somewhere, our guests can come around. What was the biggest change over the last 17 years that you have experienced, looking back? The biggest change? I think it's
as individual.
As individual, one, the career change, and second, to have a boat.
Yeah.
So your the way you live.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
That was most of the biggest change in in the whole thing. Yes.
Yeah. For me, was the way of traveling.
Yeah.
It changed a lot, from airplanes to bus, trains, and road trips, to just traveling with a boat, and be more focused on enjoying every moment slowly,
Yeah.
than just being all the time, let's go to the next one. And the way that we used to travel, it was always how much can we see and experience in a short period of time.
Yeah.
And now it's about how much can we enjoy every moment of this.
Yeah.
That for me, that was the biggest change. And as individual, living on a boat, it really challenges you out of your comfort zone, because everything is different on a boat. But yeah, the feeling of freedom, it's really the best that that one can get with his lifestyle.
Certainly is.
Right?
Certainly is. Yeah.
Yeah. And the biggest change as a couple, can you think of how much we have changed together?
Yeah, I think because we honor each other's freedom we want to have, that has changed from being a couple into two individuals who like to be together.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you described that really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We learned a lot through that, through accepting what the other wants to achieve and dreams of, and just accepting that you love swimming and boats. By me accepting that part of you, and also for myself learning how beautiful life on the water is, that's how we got to this as well. Because if I had pushed that away, like you're gonna start working on shipping, and I'm feeling a bit like left behind, then none of this will be possible either. So I think it's mostly about always being open to new ways of living and looking at life.
Yeah, indeed. Well, couples tend to either do everything separate, as far as or what I see in my surroundings. They have their own sports, their own friends, and then they go from, the couple goes to their friends, and then the couple goes to their friends, for example, or to that sport or to that sport.
Yeah.
And I sometimes see that the way of supporting each other has changed definitely, and is also a bit apart from what I see in my surroundings with other couples.
What do you mean?
Well, we are, like I already said, we are more individual but still very much together.
Because we accept each other's growth, that's what you mean? Yeah.
And I think that has changed over the years. At first it was were difficult steps, of course, or big steps to take, so to say. But eventually I think it worked out quite well.
Yeah, also with the time that you are at home now, I also learned that when you are at home, then you are really here to enjoy your time together, your free time.
Yeah.
And then you are 1 or 2 or 3 weeks at home, and we get to enjoy our time together. And when you're gone, I also get to enjoy my own free time, so to say, the way that I want it. And I think that's a beautiful balance that we have created in our relationship. And that changed a lot from the beginning, when we were constantly together for 2 years, sharing the same job, the same free time activities,
same colleagues,
same friends, to just building up our own community or
and our own way of life also, I suppose.
Yeah.
You have a different way of life when I'm not there, and you have than when I'm there. It's a bit a shared but separate life.
Yeah.
So to say.
Yeah, that's a good way to end this podcast about change.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Well, with these wise words.
We hope you enjoyed this
exactly.
episode.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to be a part of this podcast to talk about your own experience through life, either abroad, in a different country, or on the water or on land, would love to hear your story so you can inspire more people to follow their dreams.
That's our next theme.
Yeah?
Living abroad.
Living abroad, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Good theme.
All right, I'll see you the next time.
Leave a DM.
Yeah, DM on Instagram or a comment on Spotify and YouTube. Yeah. Let us know how did you like our view today, the setting.
Yeah.
And first episode is recorded.
First episode done. See you.
Doei.
Doei.